Jesus comes in with, not only does he know the theology of his Father, but he shows the compassion of heaven to humanity. So when you watch Jesus, you get to see how Jesus would do it. You get to watch how Jesus transitions people out of darkness and into light. And one of the great things that marks the ministry of Jesus is that Jesus doesn't go about to build anything. Jesus doesn't try to build a church. Jesus doesn't try to build a following. In fact, sometimes it's almost as if Jesus is trying to get his following smaller. He has thousands of followers, so he preaches a sermon in John 6 that runs most of them off. He turns to what's left and goes, will you leave also? They say, where else are we going to go? Nobody speaks like you speak. You get all the way to the garden, he's got 3 disciples left, and they sleep through the prayer. You get to the cross, there's 1 guy left at the foot of the cross. And then resurrection morning, not a one of them believe he's alive. So, I mean, it's almost as if at times Jesus is trying to dwindle the crowd down, not because growth is a bad thing, but because for Christ, relationship is more important than numbers. It's more important than ministry size. It's more important than satellite campuses and van ministries. It's more important to look people in the eye and find out where they're hurting and find out where you can love them and find out where you might be able to be your brother's keeper and where you might be able to take the load that they're bearing and make it part of what you're bearing. It's why Jesus preached what he preached, which was not just theological plaudits and these big lists of rules, but relationship, meeting people where they are and teaching people that they're loved. And so I've been in the church my entire life. I'm tired of religion. I really have wearied on it. I don't care anything for it any longer. I've watched religion squash people's love and their joy and their peace. I've watched it crush marriages and ministries, men and women. I've watched religion take people's hope and their dreams. I've watched them come to Christ excited for relationship, and it doesn't take very long that they've forgotten about relationship, and now they're out to build somebody else's dream. And I've just watched that knock people down until I'm tired of it. I don't really have a lot of patience left any longer for a Jesus that's anything other than relational. I don't even have a whole lot of time anymore for carrot in front of the donkey Christianity. Come to Jesus so you can miss hell and go to heaven. Reality is most of us have lived in hell, and we'd like a little heaven in the hell we're in. I'd like a Christianity that did more than tell me where I can go when I die. I'd like a Christianity that can tell me where I can go now that I'm alive. What can happen in the midst of my death that makes a difference? Well, that's the Jesus I've met in the Bible. The Jesus that didn't walk around talking to people about, hey, won't it be wonderful there when you get to go home, be with Dad? You know, having no burdens to bear. I'm going to go up and build big houses for you. Don't worry, it's going to be great when you get there. That's not the Jesus I meet in the Gospels. The Jesus I meet in the Gospels is walking into people's chaos and their hell, and He's bringing the love of His Father right into the middle of where they are with no guarantees of what happens tomorrow. He even knows they're going to fail. He knows they're going to have difficulties. He knows they're going to walk right back into the valley of the shadow of death. But His promise when He leaves is that I won't really leave you and I won't ever really forsake you, and that there's a relationship to be had in just knowing who He is.